Welcome to the Raw and Real of Real Estate podcast, powered by LPT Realty, Real Estate Reimagined, with your host, the one and only Betsy Tinnervin. On this podcast, we bring you people who share their personal journeys in life, business, and of course, real estate. Get motivated, inspired, and priceless information from entrepreneurs, community leaders, and realtors who are thriving. Now let's get raw and real. Here's Betsy.
Welcome back to the LPT All-Star Radio Show. I am your host, Betsy Tinnervin, bringing you the raw and real of life, business, and of course, real estate. I want to thank Robert Palmer and LPT Realty Real Estate Reimagined for sponsoring this show. We love that we can have LPT agents, local people from the community, and just really support Tampa Bay as a whole as we thrive and grow. I have some amazing people here today. It's always great when I can say they're super educated people in the real estate world that are actually not just talking about it, but they're doing it. One of them is actually going to build me a free house. I had that conversation before the show started, so I just wanted to get that on air real quick. These three people are actually doing what they say on the internet that they're doing. They show it in their work. I've been inspired and honored to get to know Jen Spinelli with the Selling Tampa Bay Group. How's it going, Jen?
Hey, we're here.
I have really got the joy of getting to know you, and everyone knows that I'm this big radio person and I'm all over social media, but really in my personal life, I kind of stick to myself. So the factor that you and I have got to spend some time together and really in intimate moments, even intimate moments, people are going to want to know more about that. I meant we went to church on Sunday. But those times I really just got to know you and I love you to death. So just tell me a little bit about what is going on with the Selling Tampa Bay Group right now.
So obviously I was co-partner with the Lux Group and we recently kind of separated. So my separation was due to I'm very focused on investments and that's what I do in my real life, not just as an agent. So I really wanted to just separate the two groups. We're still joined a little bit, but my agents that I have with me, it's a small group and I love it. And we're killing the real estate right now. Everyone tells, they question me and ask me, how's this market right now? And we're doing well at Selling Tampa Bay.
Well, and you know that I eat and breathe investments. So you and I just we literally stay up on the phone and we talk till 1 o'clock in the morning about what we're going to do and what's going on. And so definitely later in the show, I want to circle back to some of the huge wins that you have had with investments, because I normally tell people on the show with different personalities, you're very humble.
Very humble.
And you don't really talk about what you've done and celebrate your wins. So we're going to celebrate those today, sister.
All right.
I also have a guest that you actually brought on the show, Mr. Chris. And then we laughed. It's not Desposito. It's Esposito.
That's right. Esposito.
I am killing it today. And you are the co-owner of a luxury builder. And so tell me a little bit about the name of your company, what you do, and the house that you're going to build me for free.
Yeah. Merry Christmas. Thank you for having us. We are a boutique builder in the St. Pete, Tampa area. We mainly focus on waterfront properties. Our concept is a little different. We are a true cost plus builder. So, that enables us to really drive value to the homeowner or investor. And it's a concept that's been around a while, but I think that, what we do and how we do it and servicing our clients is, unique, and that we really, do work collaboratively with them to drive the value. And, we're busy, but we enjoy it too. And our service is probably our mainstay and how we really just work every day for our clients to build a luxury to expanded luxury home.
I love that. I think that also we'll circle back to that because a lot of people don't know what cost plus means in the construction world. I definitely do, because I am the one that is yelling at contractors all day. So I understand cost plus, but we'll circle back later in the show and give the listeners kind of a deep dive into what cost plus is and how if you are building a home, that could be of value to you. I also just kind of want you to define really quick, like, what does luxury mean? Like, what is your definition of this is our niche focus as far as luxury building is concerned?
Well, I mean, luxury is a term that lots of people use, but it's really, one can define it themselves what luxury is. We kind of define it as something that is better than builder's grade. Builder's grade is your average, countertops, your average, tile.
Let's fire some shots at all the builders. We're talking about D.R. Horton. We're talking about Lennar. Okay, cool. I hear you, Chris. I hear you.
Yeah, and they do a good job at what they do. And so we define luxury as something that's better than that. And then expanded luxury is something that's even, like wine rooms and, really exotic countertops and cabinets and stuff like that.
Have you heard of a leather countertop, Chris?
I have.
I saw that in a house, man, and I thought, how? Why and what is going on? But I loved it, though. I love that definition for people out there. We were just joking. No shots fired. Non-builder grade, obviously things that you can add. And I know that like Jen has had you do, her project, and I want to dive deep into that in segment 2. But thank you for clarifying some of that. I have Mr. Abel here. And Museus.
Yes.
Abel Museus. That's kind of a cool name. You have come all the way down here from New York. Yes. And I would love to say that you came to see me, but what you really did was you came to be able to wear like a t-shirt in December.
Betsy, I actually came to see you.
So I know that you are a real estate investor. You also have some like coaching and training programs. Very cool that Jen is able to be a part of LPT Realty, which allows her to bring the people that she works with closely down here and get them featured on the show. So tell everyone what.
Well, I'm from New York, and, I started investing in New York and wasn't scared to move around. So ended up in Connecticut, Virginia, and we bumped into the Tampa Bay market, which is a great market. So we follow trends in places that are being gentrified and everything. So we're here, been here for about 2 years, and we attacked it, and I love it. I don't think I'm going back.
You don't think you're going back to New York?
No.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy because I'm originally from Chicago, so I've been here since 2015, and south of Chicago, but no one knows where I'm from, so we just say Chicago. Makes everyone's life easier. But it is hard, and construction is really hard back home. Like, Chris, I don't know how much you've done in the cold, or Jen or Abel, but back home, our business stopped for 4 or 5 months, and when we were trying to develop and build, no one's getting on a roof in December. I think it was like 18 degrees there. So being able to expand is really great, Abel, here, and also being able to develop things here is really phenomenal. Jen Spinelli. So I definitely think it's really cool. Just talk for a second before we go to break about how LPT has kind of allowed you to bring people like yourself, Chris and Abel, like together and then do collaborative things like talk on the radio.
Let's start there. Who gets free radio time? You have to pay mega money to get this. So we get that. We get a lot of free print material, and Abel can speak of it himself. I've just recently, we closed 2 homes of his through LPT yesterday. And that print material was handed out to I don't know how many customers, but I was originally with EXP when I first listed his home. So as soon as I switched over to LPT and I utilized those materials that Robert gave us for free, I was able to get his house under contract within the week. So that on top of the digital marketing that I use, it's been a great experience.
And just how awesome is it for you to work and have a relationship with Chris, as we both know, building properties, buying land, investing our own money. You're an actual investor yourself. How does that help you with your clients and then working with people like Chris and Abel?
So Chris, I've known Chris, our daughters are actually born on the same day. So our daughters grew up together and at the Catholic Church together. So when I interviewed a bunch of builders. It took me almost 4 months to decide which builder I wanted to go to. But Roy gave me that hometown vibe. He's from here. His kids go to school with our kids. I love the cost plus. I love the fact that I can use my vendors and my people. And, it was like, I call him like my dad.
And Roy and Chris are partners.
Yes.
Okay.
So
cool.
Roy's the actual contractor, the actual builder, and then Chris is his executive, I guess, assistant. How do we want to label you, Chris?
He's
I
the
don't need a
co-partner.
label.
I mean, he's the co-owner.
Yeah.
You know, so they just merged together and did the whole Esposito luxury homes. Prior to that, it was just Roy on his own. So Chris is now an added value to the whole cost
Team.
plus and the teamwork. I mean, we become family over the last year and a half. So
I love that. And I think that it's going to be really great after the break. We're going to come back and we're going to kind of dive deep with Chris, talking about what does it mean to hire a contractor and use cost plus. Jen and Abel are going to talk from kind of an investor standpoint. Jennifer's done projects on her own, and then also how Abel picks his deals in Florida, especially coming from New York, using an agent to really identify great hot market areas. Please download the iHeartRadio app. You are not going to want to miss segments 2, 3, and 4 with these lovely people. We're diving deep into investments. We're even going into building luxury and actually diving deep into a case study that Jen has of a project that she actually made $1.5 million on in about 10 months. So we're going to pay some bills and we will catch you after the break.
Best comp plans ever in stock and revenue share, but if we're not closing real estate transactions, all of that is worthless, because ultimately everything starts with a real estate transaction, which starts with a consumer. And so we wanted to arm our agents with the absolute best technology and best marketing tools to do more real estate. And that's, again, I think a big differentiator. I think very few brokerages really sit down and say, how do we provide tools to make sure that our agents can be more productive, sell more real estate, win more listings, win at more listing appointments, help more buyers find that home, and we're very focused on that. And so while we have the best comp plans and the best ways for agents to generate wealth and earn, we also have the best tools, and more importantly, I would say have the best tools to help you be successful in real estate.
Welcome back to the LPT All-Star Radio Show. I am your host, spreading Christmas cheer today, Betsy Tinervin with LPT Realty. We want to thank Robert Palmer and LPT Realty Real Estate Reimagined for making this show possible. I have 3 great people here with me today. We bring you the raw and real of life, business, and real estate, but we are definitely talking real estate today, kids. We are talking about investing, developing, luxury builds, and we have an investor, Mr. Abel. We have a luxury builder, Mr. Chris, and then we have the one and only from our home team with LPT, Jen Spinelli with Selling Tampa Bay Group. So I'm going to come back to you, Abel, because I think that what a lot of investors don't realize is, first of all, on the buy side, agents represent you for free. Like, we really work for you for free. The sellers pay us commission, right? And there may be wholesale deals or other deals, but what of value is it to you coming from New York to use someone like Jen that's grounded and rooted in Tampa Bay as an agent? How does that help you? Why is that a necessity? Give people some advice on that.
Well, Jen is a gem because not only that she knows the area hand and fist, but she's honest. She cares. She's there. She picks up her phone. And
I know that doesn't happen with a lot of people, huh?
yes, sometimes. But having somebody like Jen in your corner is valuable, because I go back and forth to New York. My family still lives in New York. So Jen definitely helps out whether I'm here or not. I'm talking about she even looks after the property sometimes when I'm not here to make sure everything is there. Not only that, the way that when she switched over to LPT, I saw a big difference in everything also. So that was great too. The house sold right now, in 2 houses sold right now in a down market, or a market where interest rates are going high.
Yeah. I love that. I think that it's great when you have an agent that also specializes in investments. Talk a little bit about why it's important, if you're looking to purchase investments, why you need a realtor that is not just focused on residential real estate, but also understands investment properties.
What's important to me is bottom line. So I'm here to make money. So when she understands the investment side to this situation, it makes it easier. I don't have to explain too much. And she can find me the exact property that has the correct ARV for me.
Yeah, I think what's crazy about the classes I teach on investment real estate to agents is residential purchases are based on emotion. And the first words that came out of your mouth was, I care about the bottom line. It's like when you get that settlement sheet, you're looking at what is my wire, and so I think that it's really great that you have someone like Jen who not only is an investor herself, which I also love that, because when you're an investor yourself as an agent, you know what it feels like to have skin in the game and you know what's on the line. You're not buying that house to take a dip in the pool on Sundays or cook on that grill. You're buying that house to feed your family, to buy your next investment. And there's a lot of pressure in that. So I appreciate you giving that advice to everybody out there of why you need a realtor when you're buying investments, such as Jen Spinelli with the Selling Tampa Bay Group, that can really lead you in the right direction. I want to come to you, Chris, not only just to talk about like maybe the specs that I'm thinking about or the walkout balcony. Jen was actually showing me a project she's working on that you guys are kind of designing. I'll get back with you on what I need, kind of what my vibe is and what I like. But I definitely want to talk to you about everyone out there so they understand what cost plus is. Because I think in the contractor world, and Florida's been tough for me, I'm going to be honest. Because there's just like, I get along with the New York people and like the Midwest people because we just move at lightning speed. And in Florida, people are a little bit nicer, but it's like, hey, you going to get me that bid? Yeah, dude. Okay, 2 weeks have gone by. And then like no breakout of labor and materials, no breakout of specs. I'm like, okay, I could have had, an 8-year-old come up with this. So I think it's important for people to know what makes you guys' service great with the way that you bid things with labor and material, and what does cost plus mean for someone that wants you to build them a home?
Yeah, so cost plus for us is exactly that, and let me just say that, we're bound by our ethics and also a higher accountability, our faith. And so because of that, honesty and an honest approach, we share the actual cost. It's contractor cost on materials, contractor cost on labor. And this is what the construction market doesn't want us to show. And this is another reason why the banks are referring us now, because their customers are happy because we're sharing true cost.
Okay, you got to break it down though.
Okay.
Cost plus, if someone has a regular bid, because I know what cost plus is, but I want to make sure all of our listeners really get to know. So if they get a regular bid, we say, here's estimate for materials, here's estimate for labor. Now, whether we hit those marks or not, they can give us change orders and give us markups and all of that. Explain what a cost plus construction bid is.
So it's the true cost of the labor and the materials plus our contractor fee. That's the plus. Okay. And a lot of, cost plus builders, they also build margin in their materials, and you get an invoice from their company rather than see the actual invoice from the trade that's doing the work. We share that. We use modern technology we use Google Drive. And so everything is shared up. And also we are very detailed in our quoting and proposal process. We get down to the doorknob cost so that we have an accurate cost, and it's not everything is kind of thrown in there. So you're really able to see and get a good, accurate picture of your cost investment. And that's why investors like us, so we can help drive that bottom line as well.
And so basically they get actual receipts for what materials were, the actual cost of your labor, and then there's one overall price markup that is agreed upon before the contract is signed.
That's absolutely correct.
Sometimes I think that I should have just had a Betsy Tinnervin dictionary and just put all my own definitions in there. Because I think just getting straight to the point is just where it's at. I love that. And I'm glad you got to explain that to everyone out there for sure. If anyone wants to get a hold of you in regards to potentially doing a build, could you give everyone your phone number?
Absolutely. You can reach me at 727-518-5770. That's Chris Donaldson.
All right, now Jen Spinelli, I'm coming back to you, and we're going to speak facts, man. Stacey and I do Sugar and Spice Developments. We break out projects, and I'm proud of my bottom line, because I feel like I can serve other things in my life because I am, financially stable. So we're definitely going to get into this little case study real quick.
Okay.
And so you decided to do luxury redevelopment, which, to be honest with you, I've always been scared of. So super proud of you. You purchased a lot, correct?
Yes.
What was the cost of the lot?
My end cost was $730,000, and that included a new dock for $60,000.
Okay. And then you tore a property down that was...
No, it was already torn down.
Perfect. So we have this empty beautiful canvas and $730K, we're all in with that. Then what was your cost to build on Mr. Chris's Cost Plus program?
I think we ended at right under 900. It was like 870 maybe total out the door.
So then what was your wire on your Alta statement?
1.498
1.498, and that is $1 million.
million.
Okay, cool. I just want to make sure it wasn't $1.48. And then also, what you had some holding costs in there.
Yeah, a little bit, not much though. So, I mean, I obviously deal with investments. So I had a couple of my properties that I sold along the way, and my holding costs were very minimal. I bought right. So this house actually was going to be my primary residence. I've always loved yacht club estates, so I was building to move into it. So I have a term that everyone likes to tell me, it's the Spinelli grade, because it's always over the top. Everyone doesn't see my vision. I see my vision, but then once it's put out there, they're like, holy, we did that, right? You know,
Yeah.
So it was a lot. It was a very emotional thing for me because I was like single mom, putting everything into this one property. What happens if it fails? Oh my God. And then a hurricane came through. I was like, the day of closing, we had Ian come through. So I was like, oh my God. But I did
What was
right.
sold price?
The sold price was $3 million.
Okay, perfect. And how long did it take you to sell it?
24 hours.
I love that. We're going to circle back after the break just so everyone knows. We'll dive a little bit deeper into this deal with Jen. I think what's important and to hear her say is that, I mean, in my opinion, real estate is the sexiest asset that there is. And everyone hears me say that on the show. I'm super biased. They know that I invest as well, and I love it. I mean, I've never done Bitcoin, Dogecoin, stock, whatever. I've never done any of that. All my money has gone into real estate. But what I really want everyone to hear from Jen is just that Jen was a single mom. You know, basically it's like going to the casino, right? And you put all your chips on black or red, like that's your choice. But like you won, man. It was great. And you did it right. And I think that people need to know that because you're a realtor, if they are not a real estate agent, they should contact you and let you kind of clear that roadmap for them, because that's why you won. It wasn't luck. It was a plan. It was a strategy, and it was a roadmap. So listeners, on the next segment, we are going to give you that roadmap. We're going to circle back with Jen on just how she found the deal, how she works with Abel, how she finds his deals, and just the proper way to invest in real estate so you win every time. Download the iHeartRadio app, and we will catch you after the break.
Biggest win, I think, with the dual path and having these two models is that now we become a brokerage for everyone. No matter where you are in your real estate career or what your goals are today, maybe today you're not interested in recruiting or having a team, but then one day you wake up and you are. Well, if you're at the wrong brokerage to do that, you're locked in. Where in our model, we're not holding anyone hostage. We're not tying anyone in. You can move between the different comp plans and have that success and really achieve whatever your definition of success is under one brokerage platform, being LPT.
Welcome back to the LPT All-Star Radio Show. I am your host, the one and only Betsy Tinervin, bringing you the raw and the real of life, business, and of course, real estate. Fully representing LPT Realty in the house today is myself and Jen Spinelli. We are both with LPT Realty, Real Estate Reimagined. We, of course, want to thank Robert Palmer and all of our executive LPT Realty team. Wish everyone out there a Merry Christmas. But we're going to circle back with Jen. I just have fire in my body to get back to this, Jen. We are actually going over a live case study, and this was your first luxury flip.
This was my first luxury, yes, 100%. It's my third project, but my first luxury.
So
I was all in.
Yeah. So again, we did $730K purchase price for the land. We were about like 8. You said
Like a little bit under 9, like 890.
$890 for like cost of construction. Sold at $3 million. Sold within 24 hours. Single mom. All the cash on the table. Tell everybody out there that's listening, like, how did you finance the purchase of the land and the construction?
So I did a couple things. I do things a little bit different. I've always put all my money on the line. So this one was making me scared. So I do have a lot of investment money in stock market. So my financial guy is amazing. So I took a loan on my stocks for, I think, 1.2% interest. Something crazy like that.
That's legit.
Yeah. So I can't remember the name of that kind of loan, but you can actually borrow against your investments. So your 401ks and so forth. And then I did a hard money loan. So I took a hard money. He was a doctor. I knew him from working in the, nursing industry. He's doing real estate now. I'm doing real estate. So it was a fit. My real estate attorney was like, Jen, go for it. Do it.
What was the percentage of interest you paid him?
So 9% interest.
And then you paid points up front.
I paid 2 points up front. So not a bad deal. We did a 70-30 split. So I used 30% of my money. He paid for 70% too.
And what's great about that structure of loan for people out there listening is Jen was paying interest on the money borrowed. He didn't have any equity in your deal. Like, you didn't negotiate any of your profits, which that's really great as an investor, because we want to, pay people back, let people win. They're investing, they're passive, they're hands off, but it's our sweat equity that's like going into the project. So it's cool when you get to keep 100% of your profits.
Yeah. He was like, you killed it. He's like, I've never seen someone make that much money off a deal. He goes, I'm going in with you again. So now we've built like this relationship, and he sends me all this stuff all the time now. So I'm like, now I am working with him as an investor. So
that's so awesome.
I mean, it worked. So we did the lot first. How I found the lot is I've been in yacht club estates forever. I have multiple friends that live in the neighborhood. I've just been scoping it out. And I saw that the lot was sitting there after he tore it down in 19. And I finally approached him. I knew him, and he does commercial real estate. And he was just like, I was going to build my dream home, but COVID hit and I don't think I'm going to do it. So I'm going to put it up. And I was like, well, I'll purchase it off of you. And he's like, I'm going to try the whole for sale by owner thing. And I'm like, okay. So I kept hitting him up, and no one was buying like that kind of money. During COVID, everyone was kind of scared, We weren't getting materials, the pricing of everything for building was going up during COVID. So everyone got scared. I don't know why. I just flipped a switch and I bought it. I was just like, okay.
But you were persistent with him.
I was persistent. And then he just gave it to me.
He's like, fine.
Yeah.
What was he listed at?
I think he was like at $899, if I remember right. He was really high. And I was like, no one's going to buy that. No real estate commissions, nothing. He was just going to do it on his own. So I came in. Obviously, I didn't get real estate commission. And we ended at $730, and that included a $60,000 dock. I mean, it was already permitted and ready to go. He just didn't have the cash. Yeah. So to pay for it. So we closed in like 14 days, I think.
That's great.
And then I was like, what am I going to do now? So everyone was like, sell the lot, sell it for $1 million, whatever, someone will get it. But I was like, no, I'm going to build a house.
And that's where you came in, Chris.
That's where we came in.
And so basically, Jen kind of told you her vision for the project, and your job is to make it come to life.
Correct. We had a little bit more than that, though, because we had built a house during COVID, and she was able to come in and see it and see our quality, see our finishes, see our style. And that was I think probably a key moment for us and for her to say, okay, this is what I want. And that was a key moment.
Well, Jen thinks outside the box, though.
She does.
So if she wants that walkout balcony, if she wants that big kitchen, you have to provide.
Well, we do. And a really asset for us is when we have somebody like Jen who is, collaborating with us and is involved, because she's got a lot of trades. And listen, we're fine with using your trade if it drives the value. If they're fully licensed and insured, then, we'll vet them for their quality, because ultimately we're responsible. But she's very involved, and that actually is an asset.
I love that. I'm really proud of you, Jen.
Aw, thank you.
I think it's really great when you celebrate your wins, because I think one thing that I did a disservice on in my career is I had to sit the other day and go, okay, we're getting for this big tour and all this stuff. What are all the things I've done? And dude, I've just kept writing and writing and writing. And it's like, it's sad that I really didn't kind of acknowledge those. So I know you're a really humble person, but I think that's great outside of, your points up front and your holding costs. I mean, you're talking at least, a $1.3 million profit. And I think that's really great. I know that you have a really selfless sense of giving. So I'm happy to know you, and I'm really proud of that. I want to turn to you, Abel, my New York guy. New York people always like me. I just am like, I love Florida. It's a melting pot. We're like super multicultural, but I need to move fast. And I can't sometimes here. I'm like, you're at a restaurant, you wait like 6 hours to get water. I'm like, dude, I can't eat my food. So come down from New York, you meet Jen, you connect with her. Obviously, she is finding deals for you. You're picking deals. Do you have like a buy box that you stick in? I think all people, that's a question I get asked a lot is what do you buy? So like, what is your particular buy box?
Excuse me. I like single family homes.
Okay.
When it comes to flip, I like to be a little closer to the water, as close as I could get. And, you know, neighborhood location is always important. So once I let Jennifer know what's important to me, she just goes out and finds it. And there's been deals that Jennifer has brought right to my doorstep. So, you know, and it works. It works. But closer to the water, location is always key. And the bottom line. I love the bottom line.
Do you have a price point that you...
Price point depends. It depends on the location. So, I mean, out here in Florida, I purchased things for $400,000, you know, depending on the bottom line. And I purchased stuff as small as $150,000 possibly, but the bottom line has to make sense.
For sure. I think it's so funny to see how many people like can win in the real estate game because see, like I'm totally no to single families. I can't do it. I'm like, nope, no for me, multifamily only. But it's funny because when you hear the stories from different people, and that's why when people come to me and say, well, what do you think about me investing in real estate? I go, well, what is important to you? And that's why I said, like, share your buy box with people because I don't think people's buy box are right or wrong. I know you want to know how I know you're a seasoned investor, though? Not that. Because you talk about the bottom line. So I get these calls all the time like, yeah, I want a C-class neighborhood and I want to be in this zip code. And I'm like, really, dude? So if I bring you something that's a 10, 11, 12 cash on cash return, you're going to say no? Like, it doesn't make sense to me, right? So I think that's really great to hear you say, one, what a help Jen is to you, and just two, that it really comes down to the bottom line for you. If I brought you a single family home, it was over here, and Jen was like, hey, Abel, this is a great deal for you. You know, you wouldn't go, it's not close enough to the water. You're going to look at her comparables and look at her analysis and go, I'm in.
That's the most important thing.
I get it.
The money is definitely out there.
Yeah.
You know, it's just the bottom line is the most important thing. And if she did bring me a multi, Betsy, I'd probably look at it too.
No, don't come over into my space now. Don't come over and play in my space now because
it's a big world.
No, I said you could come down here and do your little single family flips. Y'all can stay with the luxury stuff. But Chris, we got to talk after the break because we got to go to commercial break. But I need to give you some more specs. And I think I like some of the things that Jen picks out. So we're going to make sure we get those right. I'm glad everyone out there listening gets to hear from Abel, who actually invests in real estate, gets to hear from Jen, who is another local LPT agent who also is an investor. And of course, Chris bringing this awesome cost plus program out there that really shows that they're showing you real materials, real labor, and making a percentage off of the deal. The thing I love about real estate is it is truly a catalyst and a connector to bring so many people together where everybody makes money. You know, Abel and Jennifer can do deals and Jen can make money, and so can Abel. Chris and Jennifer can build these great things and create these visions together, and everybody makes money. So if you want to know how to make more money, especially after you spent all of your money on Christmas presents, we are going to come back after the great break with final thoughts on what not to do as an investor, what not to do when you build a home, and to always have a real estate agent, right, Jen?
Yes.
How to not have a real estate agent. Download the iHeartRadio app. We'll catch you after the break. Welcome back to the LPT All-Star Radio Show. I am your host, Betsy Tinnervin, LPT Realty, Real Estate Reimagined. We bring you the raw and real of life, business, and today, kids, all things real estate investing, working with investors, being a real estate agent. You guys know this is my whole life that I eat and breathe. So when I get to bond with someone like Jennifer Spinelli from the Selling Tampa Bay Group, our conversations go long, Jen, like very long. I'm sure that people think that we're lying, but we really do talk on the phone till 1 o'clock in the morning. Every other night, it's like, okay, we have to take a break because we have to get at least 4 hours of sleep. But from marketing to investments, like we're just really eating and breathing them, and we love what we do. Chris Donaldson here, luxury builder, runs a cost plus program. We've had the benefit of speaking with him. And Mr. Abel came all the way from New York. He claims to see me and be on the radio show, but as an investor, I think he came here to pick up more deals with Jen Spinelli and just be able to wear a t-shirt in December. So I'm going to come back to you, Abel, because I know I hit Jen and Chris for a little bit in segment 3. We promised the listeners, I need you to tell people what not to do if they decide to invest in real estate. Like, what is a hard no? Do not do this.
Location. Pick the right location. You can see the right location when everything around there is growing. You can drive down 275. You see cranes in the water. They're expanding the roadway. You know, you might be in a certain neighborhood and you might see the little bikes for rentals. The neighborhood is changing. So what you want to look for is those areas. So what not to do, the big note, what not to do is pick the right location and do not pick the wrong location.
I love that. I think, too, what matters when you pick location as well, and I'm sure that Jen plays an essential role in this for you, is not overproofing your investment. You know, a lot of times people say to me, well, what should I do? And I'm like, well, I don't know. If the neighbors have a laminate countertop, like, you don't need to go quartz.
Yeah, definitely.
And so what happens a lot, I think that investors make the mistakes is like they don't get to know the location or they don't find an investor friendly realtor like Jen. And then they either under improve or over improve a property. And that's where we have issues selling it. Any comments about that, Abel?
No, that's absolutely true.
That was deep.
That was very deep. You know, you don't change the system. You know, like you said, don't put laminate where laminate is.
Right.
That's what's selling there. You know, cost is everything. So you can that's where contractor grades come in. But depends on the location. But in a different location, when you have to spend for quartz, you have to spend for quartz. That's where the pinpoint is.
I think knowing your customer base, we talk about this in my Build Your Business class all the time. Knowing your customer base is critical. If you go into a neighborhood where you're going to attract first-time home buyers and you're going to sell a $300,000 single-family home and you've got these crazy light fixtures and all these boho, that's not what those buyers are thinking about. They're thinking about functionality. They're thinking about what is going to be good things to have in our home to function. So as an investor, you have to also know your niche customer base.
Most people, Betsy, they change things into their own liking.
Exactly.
So you don't want to overspend.
That's why Jen is good with luxury, right? Because she can do the Spinelli specs. That's what I'm going to call it, Chris. The Spinelli specs.
I love it.
Like, she's good because she knows. And I think that that's important because when you're doing luxury, I think what makes Jen unique is like she knows what she would want in her home that's considered luxury to her. And so that is awesome. I think, Chris, you gave us a definition earlier of what luxury meant to you as a builder. So give the listeners out there what not to do when hiring a builder or a contractor, or something essential they should look for, either or.
Great question. I think probably, sometimes, if the budget is going long and you look for ways to cut, you can really, cut somewhere that you shouldn't. And we always advise them of those things. They're just like, I don't want to spend that much on landscape, or I don't want to spend that much on rebar, or I don't want to spend that much on something other material. And that we're going to make sure that they don't get themselves into a position where they wish they would have. And that's just as important as being able to say that's not a good idea. So you really have to be able to be honest with your customer, your whoever's building the home for you.
Well, it's like the American dream thought process, right? We're in the middle of a recession and they go, oh, just going to cut my gym membership. It's like, all right, well, you're just going to die because you're not healthy. So the thought process on what to cut, especially for a person that's building for themselves or maybe someone that's representing an investor, I think that's really awesome that you guys come in. And to me, when I'm thinking about what I'm going to cut is I got to know the end of the beginning. So if the end is to live in it, the cuts are affecting me, right? If the end is like what Jen's trying to do and she's going to resell to a buyer, that affects the buyer.
Right.
So just like Abel mentioned, you really have to know what your exit strategy is, who your niche demographic is, who are the buyers that are going to come to you to potentially buy that product. But I think to hear you say as a builder or contractor, which I don't hardly ever hear, so props to you, Chris, is that you understand that concept and you're there to guide either the agent or the consumer throughout that process.
Yeah. And, sometimes with supply chain being what it is, things are constantly changing, with the storm that hit south of here, and God bless those people, it really affected supply chain, windows and doors and roofing material. And so you really have to plan in advance. You have to know when you need to, acquire those products. It's real important.
I love that, Chris. So just so you know, I really like the waterfall pool look in the back. Like it's like, how the hot tub kind of goes into the pool. Actually, I live like a minimalist. If you want to know the truth, I'm going to live out of a tour bus next year. So I'm totally lying, but I'll come to you when I come back after that tour, and then we can talk about a luxury build.
Let's do it.
Jen, talk to everyone out there about one of the famous quotes, and so cliche, but it's so true, is like, I'm Chi-Town and I'm a hooper. Like, I don't know anything about football, some basketball girl. So, Michael Jordan always talked about he never made any shots that he didn't take. So I know one of the things that you talked about is putting everything on the line in this deal and taking that risk. What do you have to say to anybody out there who is an agent, who might be a single mom, first-time investor? What did you do to push yourself to take the risk?
I think it was the uncomfortable feeling. I feel like you only succeed when you're uncomfortable, truthfully, at the end of the day. So how are you going to know you're going to succeed if you don't try? So, I mean, at the end all be all, I could have probably sold the property, midway, but no, something told me to keep driving and just keep going. I'm recently divorced and I'm still trying to find my purpose, but I feel like I found it. I mean, I've really come into a lot in the last year. I'm very humble, like you said. And by the way, where are you from in Chicago?
South of Chicago. So we're from do you know the area?
Yeah. So I'm from Dixon, which is just
no
south of it.
way.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
So I graduated from Illinois State University.
Okay. All right. So
how come we've never had this conversation?
I don't know. So I was wondering about that. So I know about cold. I mean, I'm more of a Floridian. So I've lived here since '93. So it is what it is. But anyways, going back to so I don't let myself fail. I get over it. I get very nervous. Like I was nervous before I walked in here today, but then I'm fine. I get over it. I don't know how to say it. It's just keep trying.
I think too that fear stops us from really doing tons of things in our life. So when we think about fear and we stop and we don't just proceed forward, I think that is when you don't, again, like Michael Jordan, I mean, if he didn't take the shot, how would you know if he made it or not? If somebody wants to connect with you with the Selling Tampa Bay group, could you give them your phone number, Miss Jen?
Sure. It's 337-347-8809.
Mr. Abel, if someone wants to connect with you, Mr. New York investor, can you give them your phone number?
Absolutely. 516-784-1214.
And Mr. Chris, if somebody wants that luxury, non-builder grade, new crib, can you give your phone number?
Absolutely. It's 727-518-5770.
I thank all of you guys for being here today. I hope you had fun.
Christmas.
Definitely Merry Christmas.
We love everybody out there. We're so excited that we could have, Chris, Jennifer, and Abel in the studio today. LPT allows LPT agents to really bring their team together, their ecosystem together, and to be a catalyst and connector in the real estate business. Jen has really proven herself as an investor, a developer, and a stellar real estate agent. If you're looking to connect with anyone and get more information about LPT, reach out to Jen. If you're an investor wanting to invest, reach out to Jen. She has an awesome group of people here today. I can't thank you enough, Abel, Chris, and Jennifer, for just giving all of our listeners wealth and knowledge. We love all of you guys out there. We appreciate you listening every single week. If you're interested in being on the show, you can contact me at 813-609-0229. And we and LPT Realty want to wish you a Merry Christmas, and we will see you next time.
Thanks for listening to the Raw and Real of Real Estate podcast, powered by LPT Realty, Real Estate Reimagined. We hope this episode motivated and inspired you. And don't forget to rate and review us. Thanks again for listening to the Raw and Real of Real Estate podcast with Betsy Tinervin.